Hi friends, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Today I have the 4-Star Generals Revisited Sew Along with Teaquilts and me now for you. So we are going to be doing month number 5's block. It's got a lot of pieces, and let me tell you, they can get messed up. So pay attention. Don't do what I do, but do what I do all at the same time. Follow your instructions, and here's some visual instruction for you to sew along. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the end. All right, so for month 5, we are going to be doing this block right down here. B is for black for me, but it also stands for background for you. I cannot give you the measurements. We're going to be making this block. It's the Ohio Star variation, and it has quite a few pieces. So this is all the pieces cut out for all of my blocks. But what we do need is 2 of our main fabric of their cuts. So we need 2 of those. And then we also need 2 of our background to go with it, which would be your light, and that's the same cut. Also, we need 4 little pieces for our background, and in the same background, we need 4 of our little pieces again. And then, oops, let's try to keep these separated or else I'm going to forget. Then we need of our accent colors. Here's 2 accents for me, and I'm kind of swapping mine up. So 1 accent is, here we go, 4, oops, of these little guys, and then 4 of these little guys, and then on the other one we have 1 of these, just like that, which is going to be our center. All right, so now that we have all the pieces, let's get this block configured. What do we need to do? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to organize it to what the directions say. So we're going to be taking our accent 1 and our background, and we're going to be making half square triangles for these. Now you can draw your line on all of these and sew on both sides of your drawn line. I am just going to use my seam tape, which you will see at the machine, but we're going to take these from all the sections, but I'm going to try to put them back in the same color section because last month I almost got my colors mixed up because I wasn't putting them back where I had them. So we're going to take these first, and then I'll sew them and throw them back over here, and then those and those and those. So let's go to the machine and start stitching these up. Here we are at the machine, and what I'm going to do, like it says in the directions, you can draw the line from corner to corner, and then you're going to be sewing on each side of it. I'm just going to go ahead and put these right sides together because I have this seam tape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this point to point with this 1/4 inch line, not the center. I'm not sewing from corner to corner. So I'm going to go to the 1/4 inch line and sew 1/4 inch on both sides of my invisible line. So I'm going to go down the one time, and then I'm going to come back and go on the opposite side. So I'm just lining it up just like this and sewing down my invisible line. So anytime, if you have seam tape on your machine, anytime it wants you to draw a line and sew 1/4 inch on each side, just remember that there's already a 1/4 inch line on your seam tape. If lined up properly, it should come out correct every time. So now I'm just going to flip these around, give me a little bit of slack right here, and go on the opposite side now. So I'm just going to line up at the top, line up at the bottom, and sew on the opposite side. Just like this. And one more. Just like that. So all of these are now ready to be split in half. They're ready to be split in half to create 2 half square triangles. And then they're going to get trimmed down anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and put you in fast forward while I sew all the other groups so that I don't get them out of order. Okay, so now that I have them all sewn and they're all back with their proper color, we're going to trim them in half, just like this. So I'm just going to line up the ruler from corner to corner because I don't have a drawn line, just like that, and I have my 2 pieces. But before I do anything, I'm going to go ahead and trim them to the size I need them to be. I'm going to line my ruler up where the number that I need of my size goes from tip, and we're going to go from this side, from the number I need to the number I need, and look at how much extra they have these sew these things so big, but I'm making it work. We're going to trim these down to the size that it says. So make a cut here. Make a cut there, and this should be the size I need. I'm going to go ahead and trim off these little areas down here because that's the dog ear. We don't need that, and we're going to open it up, and it should be the size that it says in the pattern. Now it does look a little on the small side. That is okay. It should be okay to work with if you are used to this kind of stuff. But again, a lot of waste. I really never liked this pattern. Has more waste than any pattern I have ever done. But I'm going to go ahead and put you in back and fast forward while I trim all of these up to the size that they are supposed to be and press them all towards the black, and then I'll get on to the next step after that. Okay, so now that all these are pressed towards the dark, what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy and these, and we're going to make little units. So I need my little cheat sheet, or else my brain is just going to forget. I need So my backgrounds go out and out like this, just like that. Down here at the bottom. Ooh, let's scoop this up. Down here at the bottom. So my backgrounds are going to go outward, facing out. And then I'm going to grab one black background, my black, and then one of my accent, which is going to go like this. So we're going to make all these units, this, that, like that. I'm going to stack them all on top of each other, put all that there because it's all the same, and all those there just the same. So we're going to be making those units. So I'm going to go ahead and stack the rest of them just like this. I'm going to grab those and that. We're going to stack the rest of these like this and like that, just like that. So I know that this is the one that goes up there, and I kind of, again, want to keep everything together, so I'm just going to throw it back up there. And then I need to situate the other ones as well. Okay, so now that all these units are ready, we're going to take them over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to remember that these dark ones are going to go with the lighters, and the lighters are going to go with the dark. Let's see if I can remember this. So I'm going to slide all of these over here so that I can chain piece everything through, just like this, and down here like this. And we're going to go to the sewing machine and start sewing these groups together. Here I am at the machine. Here is my little set, just like this. I'm just going to put them on opposite sides like this. I'm going to grab the top two, right sides together, and slide them through with a 1/4 inch seam. Grab the bottom two, right sides together with a 1/4 inch seam. They're a little small, so they're a little harder to line up. They do take patience. I'm going to grab the next two, this, and then the bottom two. The top two, and the bottom two, leaving me with two left. You will know if you have them mixed up, if you have not enough left. So again, top two, and bottom two. And now they're all in sets of 2, but I'm going to continue on in fast forward for the other groups. So I'm just going to start sewing these through in fast forward. Okay, so now that they're all together in sets of 2, so every 2 is going to get snipped apart, and these are all one block. Just keep them all here. There's 4 for that. I'm just going to keep all the sets like that, and then 4 more, just like this. And now all I need to do is finger press towards the dark, finger press towards my accent, so which would be my background and my accent, right sides together, so they're hooked together still, they're in the correct order. We're just going to put them right sides together, and I finger pressed for now. They're going to nest just like this, there, so they're opposite sides just like that. I'm going to hold that together, slide it under with a 1/4 inch seam, and it looks like I popped my thread again. Give me a second. Put it through, 1/4 inch seam, all the way to the end. Grab the next 2, finger press to the background, finger press towards the accent, and sew, holding your seam, a 1/4 inch seam. Oh, some of them are wonky. They are small. All right, right sides together, and sew it. And then I'm just going to keep going until all of these little groups are together. And then I'll press them and put them back in their colorway, and then we'll go on to the next step. So here's fast forward with some music. So now that those are finished, we're going to move on to the next step, which are these main fabric and background, I should say. We're going to take these over to the sewing machine now, and we're going to do that same exact thing, right sides together, and I am going to draw an invisible line, which means I'm not drawing it, and I'm going to sew on both sides of that line. So we're going to take these over to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch on both sides of a diagonal line, and then we're going to bring them back and get to the next step. Okay, here we are at the machine. We're going to line these up. Again, I have an invisible line because I'm using my seam tape, and I'm going to sew from corner to corner 1/4 inch away from the corner. So I'm lining it up with my 1/4 inch line on my tape, just like this. So I'm going to sew on both sides, just like this, and then I'm going to flip them around and sew the other side. But for now, I'm going to just run all of my colors through. And now I just decided I will just remember that the light ones go with the dark little accents and the dark ones go with the light accents. For me, at least, with the way I have my pattern being cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and put you in fast forward while I sew these. Okay, while we're here, the next step is to trim each of these apart, and then we're going to be sewing them back together. So we're trimming them apart, just like this. We're going to keep trimming them apart. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in fast forward. Okay, so now we're going to take these over to the iron, and we're going to press them to the dark. Every single one of them, we're going to press them to the dark, and then I'll meet you back at the sewing machine for the next step. All right, back at the machine, what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 matchy ones like this, and we're going to put them right sides together. We're going to make sure that one color is on one side and one color is on the other side, so they are opposite. And what we're going to do, since they were pressed exactly the same direction, is we're going to nest that seam. So when you open this up, you can see that the seams will nest. So I'm going to hold it nice and tight. You can pin it if you need. Just going to hold it nice and tight. And again, I'm going to do this invisible line. So I'm going to line my corner up and my corner up on my 1/4 inch line like this. And sew from one side to the other. And I'm going to repeat the process with piece number 2. So I'm just going to butt them right up. We're going to hold it nice and tight, and I'm going to sew across my invisible line. You can draw your line. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat that process with all of the sets. So right sides together, nest my seam, draw your line, or use your seam tape from corner to corner. Not on the corner, but on a 1/4 inch away from your drawn line on each side. I'm going to go ahead and put you in fast forward while I complete this step. Okay, so now we just need to trim them in half. So in between the two lines or on your drawn line if you did one. And then we're going to trim them to size. So I'm just going to trim them up and stack them up like this. So this is my dark goes with the light. My lights go with the darks. That's dark and that's light. What I'm going to do is trim these the same exact way. I'm going to put the marking I need where I need it on my stitch line, just like this. And I'm going to put the corner right here. I'm down in this bottom corner here. I'm going to put the corner where I need it to be right on the seam line right here, just like this. So I'm going to go where I need it on the stitch line, slide it down where I want it, and give it a nice trim, just like that. And then cut off the dog ears, just like that. Open it up and I should have a unit that looks like this, which is an hourglass. So I'm going to go ahead and trim all these pieces and then I'm going to press them and then we'll come right back here and lay the block out. Just wanted to show the pile of waste. That is the waste from just these 4 blocks so far. Yep, that's the waste. That's a lot of waste. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up and I'll be right back. Okay, so now it is time to lay out the blocks. So we're going to start with 1 right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it out according to the diagram. So it shows that I have these facing in. So my background or black color, or for you, your light, is going to face in. Then it has that solid piece going right here. And then it has these going around it just like this. So there is the block. So we're going to go ahead and lay all of the blocks out. So I'm going to move that one out of the way. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to lay this one in the center. These are going to go all the way around it like this with my background or my accent color facing in. And these are going to be laid with a black or your light colored fabric facing towards the center, just like that. So there's block number 2. I'm going to move that out of the way. We're going to lay out block number 3. That's the center. These are going to go around it. This, we're going to have that facing that way, facing that way, facing this way, and this way. Just remember your background touches the center like this, and your X or your main fabric touches your outer blocks. So there's that one, and one more to lay out. Again, center these down, facing with my background inward, and then accent facing the center like this. So now it's time to take these over to the machine. And we're going to sew right sides together like this. And we're going to sew down the right of that. Then we're going to open them up and add the third. So let's take this whole block to the machine and I will repeat that whole process one more time. So let's go to the machine and get these sewn together. All right, so here we are again. Here's our block layout. It's exactly like it needs to be according to the photo that they give you on the little pattern. We're going to take these two, right sides together, and right sides together. I'm going to sew down this side. I'm going to move these over a little bit, and with a 1/4 inch seam, I'm going to sew on down, just like that. And then grab this one, sew it. And the last one, going to go ahead and sew it just like that. Then I'm going to come back to the top and I'm going to finger press to the left. I'll slide those over a little. I'm going to finger press this one to the right and this last one to the left, just like this. And we're going to add the third piece. So we're going to take this top one, right sides together, line it up. Everything should be the exact same size. Grab the next one. I'm not going to flip or move anything. And the last one, I'm going to add it just like this. I'm going to break thread. I'm going to again press this out to the right. This one's going to go into the left, and this one's going to go out to the right. Now the directions probably say something else, but I'm just doing it by the way I know how to do things. I'm going to take this bottom one now and put it over the top one. I'm going to, as you can see, since they're finger pressed, the seams are in opposite directions, so they're going to nest beautifully. I'm just going to hold it with my finger. The block is pretty small, so it should go pretty easily. Just like this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and smush this in towards the center, just like that. And then I'm going to take this other one, still attached, and go on the opposite side. Again, my seams should nest right up. Line it up and sew my 1/4-inch seam. Stopping in the first seam, nest that second one. And again, I'm just going to press the seam one way or another, just like this, and there is one little block. So now all I'm going to do is run all the rest of them through while I sit here, and I'm just going to put this over here, make sure that my guide piece is still good. But I'm going to go ahead and put you in fast forward while I finish sewing these up. All right, the last and final step is to add my sashing. Right there and right there. And I'm going to sew them to these blocks, and then I'll add a final sashing in between. So let me sew those together. There is the photo of what your block should look like, singular block, and that is all 4 blocks together. So there we have it, all of the blocks nicely together, making month 5's 1 block in one, 4 in 1, 4 in 1 block. I don't know. It just made a block. So it looks like I have a backwards piece. Do you guys see that? I see it. Do I want to rip it? Do I want to rip it? Do I want to rip it out? Well, maybe I should. Give me a second. Okay, so everybody makes mistakes. Does it look correct now? Oh, I think it does. Can you even tell where I ripped it out? No, not really, because my black background kind of, hides it. So there we have it. Month 5's block. It's done. So I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and check out the videos that are popping up on the screen right now. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching. Bye.